Alright guys, welcome back. It's a Friday evening and I've got a bit of a different one for you tonight. It's a strange one to talk about, but I've been listening to this stuff all week and it has it's fascinated me, and I've been absolutely I couldn't wait to hear more of these strange stories. But at the same time, it's very sad. So I don't want to enthuse about it too much like I do normally about the films and things, because what I'm talking about tonight is actual real things, real occurrences. I'll tell you more. I'll elaborate. What I'm going to talk about tonight is I came across this guy on the internet, and his name is David Paulidis, and he's an ex-police officer in America, and what he specialises in, well, at the moment, what he does at the moment, I suppose you could say it's for his hobby, but he's doing books and stuff as well. But what he specialises in is missing people cases. Not just run-of-the-mill missing people cases, but very strange, unexplained disappearances. Pardon me. Very strange cases. And some of this stuff is so bizarre. Like I said, I've been listening to it all week, and it's riveting. It's absolutely riveting, but sad. In fact, I was at work this week, and there was a fella I work with, and I had it on my speaker, on a Bluetooth speaker, and he heard a little bit, and he went, "Oh, don't go down to the woods today." And I said, "Oh, you're listening, are you?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said a few things to him about it, and I said it's fascinating. I said it's really interesting. It's really I was sort of enthusing about it, and I had to pull myself back, and I said that sounds really insensitive, because he knew what it was about, and I said, yeah, I didn't mean it like that. I said it's very sad, and it's very scary, but it's intriguing and fascinating, because these cases of missing people, it is absolutely unexplained. There's no rational reasoning behind what's happened to them. This David Paulidis, he's been investigating stuff, and he's come across, I think he's got a book out, and it's called Missing 411. Now, I think the 411 is in regard to the amount of people that he's covered in this book, this book that he's brought out. I think this isn't gospel, but some of the things he's uncovering about these missing people. Now, a lot of these people, there's so many sort of through lines, as in like for example, a lot of these people that go missing, a lot of them, they're either doctors or some sort of physicians, or they're sort of athletes, or they're children. It's bizarre how many are of the same occupation, and they're going missing in national parks in America, like wilderness, out in the middle of nowhere. And it's so weird, and it's so creepy, because there's no explanation for this stuff. For example, a lot of the children that go missing, their parents say they were literally there at the side of me or behind me on the trail, and in a split second they were gone, and there's no trace of where they've gone to. When they've brought search and rescue teams in to try and find them, even the dogs don't find a scent leading off of the trail, which is bizarre in itself, because I think he said they were like bloodhounds, and they you know how powerful dogs' noses are. They pick up on anything, and they don't find a thing. Now, a lot of these kids or people, some of them are found, and some of them are never found. Now, think about this. This is, they're going missing in places where he said that you could look at it from an outside view and say, well, it could be a serial killer. But the fact is, it's gone over. It's been going on in so many different places in the same strange circumstances over so many years. And then he got to that point and he said, well, that's still, you could still say that's feasible. But the point he made was, normally, say, a serial killer would be in a populated area or somewhere where, you know, there is likely to be people that he could snatch. He said these people are going missing in the middle of nowhere, where a serial killer hasn't got anywhere to, you know, take shelter and sit and wait for these people. So he ruled out the serial killer thing. Now, I've got to try and remember this, because I can't. I'm sitting with one of his videos here, but whereas before I've been describing these videos I've been watching, I can see what's going on. This is just him talking. But I'll tell you the reason I'm doing this on here. And before he'd even said this, I thought to myself, I'm going through these scenarios in my head about what this could be, what's happening here, and it ties in so well with Lovecraft, with cosmic horror, with the realm of the weird and unexplained of his stories. And what fascinated me, and what really, I listened to a couple of his videos, and then I came across this one where he's talking in I think it's called MUFOS or MUFON, like a convention, I suppose, for UFO people. But what he does is I'm just trying to find it now, so bear with me if I go quiet. I'm just getting back to the actual bit, which is the spur for me to talk about this on a Lovecraft channel. He starts one of his talks with this this quote, and I was listening to this. I wasn't watching the pictures. I was listening to this at work, so I wasn't seeing the text. And what it says is, now hold on one sec, because the screen's covering it. You little bugger, what's that? Right, it says, the most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all of its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. The sciences, each straining in its own direction, have hitherto harmed us little, but some day, oh hold on, bugger. Oh you get. The piecing together, no hold on, oh what a bugger, I've just buggered me quote up. Right, give me one sec. I'm not going to bother pausing this because I'm tired of doing that. You know what, this is going to be warts and all, you can listen to all of it. Where did I get to? Pardon me. Here we go. But someday, the hitherto harmed us little, the sciences. But someday, the piecing together of disassociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality and of our frightful position therein, that we shall either go mad from the revelation or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. And at the bottom it says, by H.P. Lovecraft. That's a quote from Lovecraft, and he started this whole talk with that quote from Lovecraft, which when he read it and I heard it, I was like, when he was reading it, I thought, this sounds very, and then he said it at the end, and it goes exactly with what I was thinking about, all this stuff I was hearing this David Paulidis talk about. It's like a Lovecraft tale come to life, because what let me just pause him now because he's chatting over me, although he's more interesting. Anyway, so he started it with that. Now let me tell you about some of these cases. A lot of these people that go missing, like I said, they're all of the same occupation a lot of the time, or hobbies. You said they're very, very fit people, and I can't remember the word he used, but you get the idea. And one thing that is very, very common with these missing people in national parks is that if they're found dead or alive, they're missing their shoes. They're missing their shoes, often other clothing, and they have no recollection of how this happened. Now these are the ones that were alive. The ones that have been found that are not alive, they've been found in, like, so far. For example, right, some kids, 2-year-old kids, it's heartbreaking. 2-year-old kids have disappeared from with their parents in national parks, and some of them have been found like 12 miles away. Now, some of the police and that have explained it as saying that they must have wandered there. How the hell does a 2-year-old wander for 12 miles over rough terrain? Some of them have been found up the tops of mountains. And also, some of them, they have these search and rescue teams out, and he said they walk almost shoulder to shoulder at times, searching the landscapes. And some of these search and rescue people know the areas very, very well. And he said they search multiple times. And then he said that they're often almost ready to give up the search, and they will search places they have absolutely searched before, and they will find the child or the person in a place they have definitely searched. Now, and he says it's almost as if the body's been placed there. And also, he said that when they've done post-mortems, or when they find out how they died, also, he said a lot of the times he's had coroners coming to him and saying that multiple, doctors, coroners, people involved in the process of trying to find out how they died, coming to him and saying, we should be able to find out how anyone died at any time with anything. And a lot of these cases, or most of them, we just don't know how they died. We can't work it out. It's so weird. It's so weird. And it's like, it just gets you thinking about what the hell could be going on. What is going on in the middle of nowhere? And it sets your brain off just thinking, like, what is it? I mean, it fascinated me because my mind went off on this, just thinking, well, it could be almost like there could be some sort of maybe a small opening to a cave system or something, and there's, you know, in the hills or wherever that they don't know about, and something lives there. It's almost like in The Descent. Has anyone seen The Descent? I love that film. I love it to death. And if you haven't seen it, it's about these cave dwelling, just these 6 women or 8 women go cave diving or potholing or spelunking or whatever you call it into the caves, and they get trapped, and they find there's these things living down there with them, these horrible things. Have a look. You'll have a look. You work it out for yourself. But they're these horrible little things. But I remember thinking, what if it's something like that? If there's some kind of creature that we've never come across in all our time on this earth and never documented, living, this horrible thing, this race of beings, whatever, living underground. I mean, there's the other scenario you could think of, as could say where they're being abducted by aliens. You know, that it's a possibility, isn't it? It's absolutely a possibility. Hold on one sec, guys. I think someone just knocked my door. Let me pause you. I'm back. No, I don't think it was. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the aliens come to get me. What was I saying anyway? Oh yeah, it could be aliens. But I mean, think about other things. I mean, there could be. How do we know there's not some sort of gateway or portal to another dimension? How do we know there's not? I mean, I'm saying these things out loud, and these are the sort of things that you can say to someone, and they'd be like, "You're mental. You're mad." But I'm the sort of person. I'm not. I wouldn't rule anything out. There's no way I would say no, it's not that, to anything. I'm open to anything. I don't believe particularly that it's something particular, or, you know. But I'll certainly be like, it's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. But yeah, with like another dimension. Imagine if it was something like that. And you know, maybe they've slipped through a time vortex or something, and they've disappeared for like 14 days or however long they disappear for, and then they come out somewhere else. I don't know. It's just mental. It's absolutely mental. Another thing he said anyway was there's another weird bit he said was that oftentimes what they'll be doing, this is so weird. He said a lot of the people, I'm not going to say most because I don't know exactly he said so much stuff that I can't remember it all, but he said a lot of cases of these missing people, at the time they go missing, they're picking berries, in particular huckleberries. Now, what the hell could be the connection there? You know, berries. But it's strange that they've all got this thread running through them where there's all these similarities in the people that go missing and the things they're doing when they go missing and the things that happen, you know, evidently to bodies when they're found. And he also said there's always a large body of water nearby to the bodies that are found. Now I don't know what that connection could be either, like the connection with water. But it opens the mind up to so many sort of wayward ideas about what it could be. But you've really got to look this guy up and just listen to some of his stuff, because it's absolutely fascinating stuff. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sorry, I'm just finding in the video. He's got rather than me scratching around for trying to remember what I can remember, I found a bit where he's got sort of a page on the screen that tells you all the similarities of what's happened. Another one was a lot of these people, most of them have a dog with them. There was one case of, I think it was a firefighter, that he had a mate with him. They were camping together, and he said it was either in the middle of the night or... No, actually, it probably would have been day, because he also said there's a specific time, and it's between something like 1 and 4 in the afternoon. And this guy, his dog ran off. He just ran off for some reason. And rather than put any... rather than take a second to put his shoes on, he ran off into the forest, chasing his dog. And his mate was like, where are you going? And he'd gone. And he sort of... His mate didn't know what to do. And apparently his mate hung around at the same place for like a day and a half, just thinking he's going to come back, and he never came back. And after a day and a half, this guy, he trekked out of there to go and get help. Now I think this was the guy that was missing for 14 days. Now I think it was after 14 days or 13 days, his dog turned up again, alive. And then I think it was a case of they searched the areas they've already searched, and they found him in a place where they had already searched on a trail. Not in the middle of nowhere, on a trail. And it was like, well, they were like, well, where's he been for 14 days? And also, get this, he had no shoes on yet. I think he said that his feet would have been they would have been torn up, the sort of terrain he would have been over. And he said they weren't. So wherever he'd been or gone, well, you work it out. His feet, they weren't that of someone that had trekked in that terrain with no shoes on. You just couldn't do it. They'd be battered. Your feet would be wrecked, wouldn't they? They would be wrecked. Yeah, he's already said about the highly intellectual, dogs with them. The bloodhounds can't. Oh, it says can't or won't track. Hey, if they won't do it, what the hell are they scared of? They must be terrified of something we can't pick up on. Now that's creepy in itself, isn't it? Because dogs, they say dogs can see things and they can sense stuff, and yeah, how creepy is that? Oh yeah, he said a lot of the time they're found in boulder fields. Now I don't know what that is. I'm guessing that's just a big open space where there's lots of boulders. Berries, water, missing. It's missing. Cannot remember the incident. Missing clothing and shoes. Afternoon disappearances. Found in location previously searched. Another one. He said so many of these cases, they go missing in decent weather, and then the day after they go missing, or even that night, a storm comes in and lasts for like a few days. And that part of it is so consistent. And I think I was listening to him on another one on Coast to Coast AM. It's an American radio show or whatever. And the presenter, I think his name's George Norrie, but he said it's almost as if something is making the weather, the storm, come in to cover the tracks of whatever, whatever's happened. Who knows? But it's fascinating to think. It's creepy as hell, but what the hell is going on to these people? But while my mind was wandering, it came up with, I've said some of the things that went through my mind already, but one of the more scary things that really sort of creeped me out when I was thinking about it was, now get this right, now this is quite controversial. Well, it's not, in my world it's not, but I listen to a lot of David Icke. Now, if anyone don't know who David Icke is, he's a British conspiracy theorist, as you might call him, although that term was invented to sort of ridicule people that thought outside the box. I listen to a lot of his stuff, and he talks a lot about, like I said, I don't buy into anything specific of what anyone says, but I hear it and think, you know, you can't rule it out. Now, he talks a lot about how the world and society is ruled by, you know, reptilians and stuff like that. And like I say, I don't just hear stuff and buy into it. And I can't say I buy into that, but it's a distinct possibility, you know. Now, he says that they thrive off people's fears and things like that. And that's, now, the more I think about the stuff he says in that sense, and he also says they're on different frequency and they're interdimensional, and when you see a ghost, maybe it's not a ghost, it is just something from a different dimension on a different frequency. Now, this is all scientific stuff, this is all sort of, but he'll say that it could be just something that passes through a wavelength or a frequency, and you see it for a split second, and it's we perceive it as a ghost, or as what we think of as ghosts. But the reason I'm saying about this is because one of the things, the creepier things I was thinking was these people going missing. Now, this is horrible. This is a horrible thought. But what if us people, us human beings on this planet, what if, as in Lovecraft says, we live in this life and we don't really see beyond the veil. We don't see what's really going on. We live our life, we get distracted with TV and phones, and we're working, having to work all the bloody time to try and earn a living to put food on a table, and we don't really see what's going on. Now, what if what's actually really going on is that we're like cattle for some kind of being out there, for some kind of being below the earth, some kind of being in another dimension, whatever. What if we are just food? It's a horrible thought. I know it's horrible saying it. I'm creeping myself out just saying it out loud and saying it into a mic where, well, somebody may listen to it. It's a horrible thought. But what if we are just cattle and we're being herded, and there's so many people go missing that it's never explained. So, and I mean, obviously the families of these people missing them, but again, in my case, I didn't know about any of this stuff until I found this guy, because you don't hear about any of this stuff on the news or in mainstream media. You don't hear about it because, and like this David Paulidis has said, he has tried to get lists from the National Parks Agency and stuff. He wanted lists of people that have gone missing, and whenever he has approached them to try and get lists or information or help to put together information about people that have gone missing, these agencies, they don't want to help him. they make it so difficult for him to find information. Like he wanted a list putting together from Yosemite, I think, a national park. And he said the message he got back from them was that it was going to cost him £34,000 to put a list together of everyone that's gone missing. That's ridiculous. You can get this. I think it was within their territory, which would have been a big chunk of, I don't know, America, United States. I don't know the region he was talking about, but they wanted 1.4 million to put together a list of various different national parks and of a certain. He said he even had a conversation. Someone rang him back and wanted to know why he wanted this information. It was about this really old case, 25 years or something. And the guy on the phone actually said to him, "You won't ever see this information." Now, how sinister is that? How flipping sinister is that? That these government types, I think it might have been the FBI actually, telling him that he would. Well, I mean, what the hell does it matter to them if it's just a innocent missing persons case? Why the hell are they not happy that someone's looking into it to try and get justice for the family? And they're fighting against him to stop him from digging to find out this stuff. Now, is he at some point going to dig and dig beyond the thin layer of reality that we believe we're living in? This cozy little, well, not a cozy little life, because we all work hard, but this little life we have that we're quite content with. What if this is not really it? And all these people that have gone missing are, I don't even know how to finish that sentence, but like I said, what if they have found out what this world and this reality is all about, and they've gone missing, and they've either become a meal for these beings or whatever, I don't know, or they're using them for something. It's creepy as hell though, because you've got to ask yourself, well, what is it? What's taking them? What are they doing to them? What are they using them for? It's so far beyond, a comfortable sort of thought. It could induce nightmares. This sort of thought, this sort of stuff. Because this is where obviously I love H.P. Lovecraft. I love his stories. I love this kind, but it's fiction. That's why I love it, because it's fiction, and I can't even explain why I love it. Well, I love the horror and love being scared. But this story of this David Paulidis 411, missing 411. This is verging into reality now, and it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. I would, anyone that listens to this, you should really just find out. Google him, get him on YouTube. He's got loads of stuff out there. He's been on Coast to Coast AM, no end of times, and he's got different talks he's doing in front of people, and it's riveting, and it's so damn creepy. You just want to have a look. You just want to find out this stuff, because, like I said, no one's talking about this stuff. No one's discussing it. No one's talking. Well, obviously, no one. I'm talking crap because he's doing it, and there's probably a few others. But considering the crap that you hear on the news, the shit they put on the news that you don't need to know about, that's all bollocks. Absolute bollocks. If they cared about reporting real news, you'd have journalists on this trying to find out, but none of them give a damn, because it's too hard, or it's outside the norm, or because the authorities tell them no, nothing strange here, it's just a missing person. They just buy it. They just believe what they're told. Don't believe what anyone tells you. Not even this guy. Because he starts to talk and he says there's not going to be any hypothesis here or much of a theory about what's going on, because I don't know. All I can do is present you with the facts, and they are facts, he says. He does his homework, his research, and he says all I can do is present that to you. And, you know, you can make up your own mind about what you think's going on, but it's undeniable, the sort of the bizarreness of this stuff. It's, you know, I'm lost for words. You got to look at it. You got to have a look at it yourself and just see what you think about it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what more I can say about this subject really, but I think just go and have a look yourself. It's definitely worth looking at. You know, you might not. It might give you sleepless nights when you read. You know, you find out about this stuff, but it's worth finding out about. It's worth finding out about, because you're not going to get told it by any news agency, any mainstream news agency. It's the kind of stuff they want to cover this stuff up, and who knows why. It beggars belief when you think about it. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. I've been on, how long have I been on here? 36 minutes. 36 minutes and a half. Yeah, the longest one I've done yet. Bored of my own voice. Yeah, guys, thanks for listening. If anyone did, probably not. But yeah, it's been good. Maybe I'll talk about some of this sort of stuff another time. I've got all these different sort of theories about what the and there's another one. What is the universe? How big is it? Where does it end? What is it? I'll go into that another time, but I sometimes go to sleep and it blows my mind just thinking about this stuff, you know, the universe. But I'll do that in another video because this has been long enough. But yeah, there's so many other things to discuss. But tonight I'll leave it there. Thank you for listening. I hope I haven't freaked too many of you out with, you know, these revelations of this David Paulidis. But yeah, go and have a look. Yeah, thanks for listening. I'll speak to you soon. Cheerio.